Hi all, my name is Haley Comet and welcome to my cosmic corner of the internet where we discuss all things astrology. And today, Aquarius Risings, understanding how Aquarius ascendants see the world and how the world sees them. In my Unlocking the Ascendant series, we are analyzing rising signs to such a deeper level than just writing it off as Ascendant is your mask. It is so much more. It is pivotal to the person that you are, the priorities that you have, and the mindset that you embodies. I really urge anyone who's interested in astrology to really dive deeply into their rising, their ascendant, as it will unlock a lot of core themes throughout their life. And I'm so excited to break down how you, as the free-spirited, innovative Aquarius rising, impact this world. Before I do, if you wouldn't mind, keep in the back of your head as you continue through this video, if anything I say resonates with you, you feel seen, you feel heard, consider dropping a like, leaving a comment, subscribing only if I've earned it. Those little nudges are truly so helpful for me and my cosmic content over on this side of the internet, so I am super grateful. And without further ado, let's dive in. Aquarius ascendant. So firstly, let's talk about how you see the world. So with the rising sign, this was literally the portion of the sky that was rising in the east at the moment that you were born. Your rising sign will be different than someone born on the same day at the same hospital, but just a 2-hour difference. Rising sign is a snapshot of the energy that you experienced as you entered this planet. So with the rising sign, it indicates how it is that you see the world. And Aquarius rising is the energy around innovation, around daring to be different, daring to be their own person. Because when you embrace your weird, when you let your freak flag fly, you empower other people to do the same thing. And Aquarius is such an interesting oxymoron because it is a sign that is intensely preoccupied with being different, with innovating, with taking us into the future. You are a future forward sign. This isn't a sign that typically will be bogged down around ruminations over the past. They are someone who wants to take themselves as well as humanity into the future. So as an extension, as an Aquarius rising, you have this mindset around being able to look at projects, initiatives, systems, and to see how you can take it into the future, how it can be improved, how it can be innovated. And in terms of how it is that you express yourself, you don't want to fit into a mold. You're not interested in that. You are intensely preoccupied with expressing your own divine light. And you might get really annoyed that you are such a trendsetter that you are, because Aquarius, you know, it is the forward thinking sign. So you tend to be very futuristic in terms of your style, in terms of how you carry yourself. And as soon as everyone else catches on to the trends that you start, then you're like, gotta go. Suddenly I'm on to the next thing. But that's like your role in the zodiac, essentially, is to set trends, to dare to defy convention, to do things differently. If everyone else is bringing back Y2K, I'm gonna stay true to my own unique style. They aren't interested in conforming in any way. Another feature of an Aquarius rising is that you all are so intelligent, it's scary sometimes. You all are very, not only intelligent when it comes to trend forecasting, because like I mentioned, Aquarius has their finger on the pulse. Like they almost have this sixth sense in terms of what's going to be trendy, what's going to be successful, where technology is going to go. So with Aquarius risings, they sort of can predict trends quite often or embrace themes that will be increasingly important as we move through our world, right? And with Aquarius, not only do they have that sort of intelligence, but also they process the world very logically. They tend to be very rigidly attached to their beliefs. They really have a devout mindset on this is what is right, this is what is wrong, this is what I think it should be. And I really empower you to trust those instincts, Aquarius rising, because you guys are seeing the future, okay? You guys are pulling a lot of information, and not only are you rational and logical, so you might not even like that concept of being woo-woo enough to feel into the future, but maybe it's just that you guys are intelligent enough to pick up on the little clues about where things are going. But either way, you'll notice an Aquarius rising by their enhanced intelligence, by their rigidness sometimes. You know, Aquarius is such an interesting oxymoron because it's such a free-spirited sign, but it's also fixed, right? So they tend to be fixed in their mindset, fixed in their perspective. They won't be swayed. They won't be swayed by other people's opinion, what's popular, what's trendy. They know what they feel and they follow that to a T. The other oxymoron about being an Aquarius rising is that it's both an energy that embodies the lone wolf as well as the social butterfly, because Aquarius is the energy that is associated with groups, organizations, but it's also the energy around feeling so different that you can't totally merge into those groups. So it's interesting being an Aquarius rising. There is a little bit of a detached nature to how you process interpersonal connections. Like, you care deeply about humanity, humanitarian causes, the values that you hold deeply, but when it comes to interpersonal connections, sometimes you can hold people at an arm's length, or there's an energy around being part of groups. People like you know how to, you know how to connect with like-minded individuals. But there's always a sensation that you're a little bit different, that you're a little bit on the outside looking in. So it's sort of an oxymoron between the two. It's like everyone's friend, but no one's best friend. And you like it that way because you like freedom. You like to be able to march to their own beat. You don't like people telling you what to do. A life that allows you to be your own weird, eccentric person is the life for you. And definitely honor that, Aquarius risings. Like, you are here to break the mold, both in how you express and carry yourself, and also into the projects and the initiatives and the careers that you bring that energy into. Because here's the other oxymoron. You guys are just a bundle of oxymorons. Is that in traditional astrology, I'm a traditional astrologer, so I do use traditional placements. You are ruled by Saturn. And Saturn is the planet of rules, regulations, discipline, structures, systems. And this brings us to the other element, because Aquarius is about change, innovation, but it's a fixed sign, as I've mentioned, and you're ruled by Saturn, which is very rigid, which is very slow. And to me, it garners these feelings around needing to know what the rules are so that you can break them, being able to work your way into systems such as government or corporate structures in order to innovate, in order to take them into the future, maybe infuse technology, maybe fight for the values that you hold dear, maybe progress us into the humanitarian values that you hold deeply. Since you are ruled by Saturn, there is an energy to you where you can be a little bit rigid at times, can be rather melancholic at times, you can be very hard on yourself. Things can take a long time for you, as Saturn is the planet of time. You can feel in some ways that you are a late bloomer. You can feel this enormous pressure on yourself, whether it's societal pressure or just pressure that you put on yourself to achieve your goals. But with the Aquarius energy, it's different than the Capricorn, which is also governed by Saturn, because Capricorn's relationship with Saturn is that Saturn is about knowing the rules, knowing the structures so that you could get to the top of them. Whereas Aquarius is about knowing the rules and knowing the structures so they can see how they can innovate, how they can make a difference. Whether that's, artistically, whether that's for their humanitarian values, whatever it is, when an Aquarius infuses their energy into a project, into a group, into a team, into a career, their job is to be the one who dares to think differently, the one who dares to say, hey, I think this is going to be a trend. We need to innovate. Hey, I think we need to embrace this technology. Hey, this is so unjust. We need to stand up for what's right, because it's uncomfortable to innovate. It's uncomfortable to be the one who dares to think differently. Like, so often when we think of geniuses at the time, in their own lifetime, they were considered weird, eccentric, and that's the energy of Aquarius. So embrace your weird. If other people call you eccentric or strange, you're doing a good job. You're simply in the future. And sometimes it can be frustrating for Aquarius placements, because it's like, can everyone catch up? Like, I'm here in the future and you guys are just not here seeing what I'm seeing or in tune with what I'm in tune with. So that can be frustrating, but all in all, you see the world in terms of, how can I share my own unique light? How can I march to the beat of my own drum? How can I innovate? How can I move myself and humanity into the future? Now let's discuss how the world sees you. Like I mentioned earlier, Aquarius rising does have a distinct style about themselves, and people will see you as someone who is very friendly. Like, Aquarius is an air sign. So like I mentioned earlier, you have enormous intelligence as well as social graces. Like, you might not be necessarily interested in playing by the rules always in terms of like social norms, but you do have a way with language. People naturally like you. They naturally relate with you. Even if you feel a little detached from them, you feel a little on the way out. Upon meeting you, people will think that you are a friendly person, albeit maybe a little strange or odd. But when it comes to your style, typically with Aquarius Rising, this is why I think Aquarius Rising is so fashionable, because they dare to do things differently. They're not the trend followers where they're running to Shein every time there's a new trend popular on TikTok. They have their own unique style and they dare to play by the rules. Like a purple wig, why not? Because then in 3 years, everyone will have purple wigs. It takes an Aquarius to start the trend so that we all see it as cool. So with an Aquarius rising, there's typically, we'll say, be some unusual twist to it. With Saturn is the planet of time and it's their ruler. So they could be inspired to pull from different eras, from different decades to infuse into it. And in terms of their aesthetic, so like I mentioned earlier, Aquarius risings are so smart. And one thing I notice when I look at the appearance is a very defined forehead. And how I always think about it is I'm like, to accommodate their huge brains, right? But typically they'll have a definition to their forehead, or it'll be like a little long. You'll definitely notice their forehead to accommodate their big brains because they're so smart. And they typically will have defined bone structure because they are ruled by Saturn. I typically notice their cheekbones quite a bit, and they tend to have like kind of long faces. Their whole bodies tend to be long. They tend to be sort of on the taller side, sort of on the slimmer side, often with dark hair, but obviously not always, but sort of like, no shade because y'all are beautiful, but almost like stretched out a little bit, really defined forehead, defined features. And again, their sense of style, they dare to do things differently. And if you look at the individuals that are flashing on your screen, these are individuals who their sense of style and their aesthetic has transcended time, right? Like Audrey Hepburn is one of the most definitive aesthetics. It transcends time. It transcends just their era. It pulls in maybe relics of the past, but also predicts certain trends into the future. So the Aquarius risings, you'll know them because they dare to do things a little differently. They dare to embrace their weird, dare to defy convention and question reality. And Aquarius risings, we are so grateful that you share your own unique light with us and empower us all to embrace our weird, because we all have a little bit in us. Aquarius just dares to shine theirs out in its totality. So friends, let me know what resonated below. I'm going through the series, just going backwards. A new ascendant video will be posted in 2 weeks time. So it'll be every 2 weeks going backwards through the zodiac, because Aquarian Pisces, you guys are so patient. You always wait till the end. So I decided every other series I'm gonna start from the end and go backwards because you guys deserve it. Friends, my Instagram handle is @Comet Astrology. My TikTok is the same. I would love to connect with you over there. And until we meet again, drink lots of water and stay cosmic.